My brat of a son is mad because I love his mom more than him. My son moved out right after graduating college last year. Since then, he's been very preoccupied with his own life. My wife and I couldn't be prouder of him, but we do wish he made a little more effort to keep in touch, especially since he only lives 30 minutes away. Months would go by without hearing from him, and we were always the ones to reach out first. We never complained about it to him, until my wife's birthday. Her birthday was 2 days ago, and we didn't get a call or a surprise visit. She was a little upset but chose not to confront him. I decided to call him about it, not out of anger, just as a reminder. I said, "Hey buddy, you missed your mom's birthday." He immediately apologized and asked me to wish her a happy birthday on his behalf. I told him it would be nice if he could visit us soon because we miss him. Apparently, that set him off. He told me that he has his own life to live and that we have ours. I told him I understood, but we're still his parents and want to stay close. That's when he bluntly said he doesn't want a close relationship with us and that he's frustrated we won't leave him alone. I asked him why, and out of nowhere, he brought up something from when he was 10 years old. He said he overheard my wife and me saying that we love each other more than we love him. I was completely confused because I don't recall ever saying anything like that. When I asked for more context, he said we had been talking about our own parents' marriages, and at some point I said something along the lines of, "Even though I love him a lot, I love his mother the most." My wife apparently agreed with me, and that conversation has tainted his view of our relationship ever since. I told him there was nothing wrong with what I said, and that he was acting like a self-centered brat who thinks the world revolves around him. He told me to go to hell. When I told my wife about what happened, she said I was wrong for calling him that, even though I believe it was true. Update. This morning, I had a deeply informative and somewhat emotional conversation with my son. I apologized to him about what I called him and let him speak first, allowing him to get things off his chest. He started by apologizing for forgetting my wife's birthday. He explained that he had been preoccupied with issues in his relationship over the past year, which is one of the reasons he had been distant from us. I asked him why he hadn't come to us for support. He said he didn't want to burden us with his problems. I also asked if he resented us in any way. That's when he opened up about his feelings in more detail. He reassured me that we weren't bad parents. He admitted that we never neglected him, that we loved him, and that we were attentive. He also acknowledged that, in the end, it was okay that we prioritize each other over him. I told him I was happy that he could understand our perspective. I reiterated what many people say, that children eventually leave the house while a spouse stays. My son said that while it was okay for us to have put each other first, it was unfair for us to expect a close relationship with him now, to the point where we want frequent visits and calls. If parenting was just a temporary phase in our lives, then we should be grateful for whatever little attention he chooses to give us. He explained how his feelings had built up over time, affected by small things we did, even if we hadn't realized it. He brought up things he had noticed growing up, particularly after overhearing our conversations. He mentioned how we would always greet each other first when coming home from work, even when he was physically closer to us. He also said he felt he didn't get enough individual time with either of us, though he had attributed it to our busy schedules. Then, he shared his own perspective on parenting. He told me that when he starts his own family, he would strive to prioritize both his children and his spouse equally. I told him that, in practice, that approach wouldn't work, since children eventually move out and start their own families. But he responded by saying he wouldn't expect his hypothetical child to place him on equal footing with the new family they create. In his view, being a parent is a choice that the child has no say in, and that's why children should be equally important as a spouse, while also understanding that, as adults, they won't receive the same level of importance in return. I asked him what he wants going forward. He said he needs time to process and think about our relationship. I told my wife about our conversation, and let's just say she has been really upset throughout the entire day. She's been fighting the urge to call my son,